Alrighty then. Hey guys, how's it going today? We're going to be playing some Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles. I am currently at the very beginning of the game. I have not gone even over to the Siege Weald yet. I haven't gone to the Merchant City of Dorter. We have only gone to Igros Castle, and then I hung out around Mandalia Plains for a little bit, and I figured I would go ahead and not do that, and show you guys what I've been doing for the last 30 hours of my life after this game came out. So, I went ahead and I hit level 99 and maxed out every single job in the game. And while this is not necessarily the correct way to play the game, it is how I decided to play the game. And I wanted to give you guys some tips in case you're looking to level up as efficiently as possible. But I want to go ahead and have a disclaimer. You don't have to do that. This game, even on the highest difficulty, is not too terribly difficult. And even reaching level 99, the end game for this ends at like level 60. And it's perfectly possible to basically go just to all of the different story missions, maybe only a little bit of farming here and there. And there's not really a whole lot of challenge to it. And you can just farm whenever. So should you decide you're not strong enough, you could just farm some levels, get new abilities on your characters. But I decided that I was going to give myself a challenge when this game came out. Even though there is no Onion Knights in this version, I wanted to make sure that I maxed out every single class before I even decided to go anywhere else. So I got Mandalia Plains, and I got everybody leveled up. And I want to tell you guys the most efficient way of leveling your classes as fast as possible / as safe as possible. Because once you hit about level 50 or so, any of the times you're playing as one of the classes that have a really low health pool, anything from Chemist and then basically everything over on the magic side is going to have some of the lowest possible health that you can possibly have. And there are ways of negating the fact that you're going to basically start getting one hit around that time. So I'm going to explain to you guys real quick, starting off with which jobs you're going to need. So default, Squire. The only thing that you're going to need out of Squire specifically is the fact that you're going to want JP boost, because you're going to be able to use it quite effectively after a little while. Movement 1 is a good one to pick up, but it's not necessary because you can get movement 2 off of Thief. And you have to level up Thief anyway in order to get to the stuff that I'm talking about. Stone Throw / Focus are really good early on levelers, especially if you're just going to drop in your Squire abilities on top of stuff. It's not necessary, but I definitely recommend JP Boost because it's going to cut the amount of time that you're doing stuff at least by a third. So it's really efficient to do that way. After you pick that up from Squire, you're going to level Archer, you're going to level Thief. Thief, you're going to want to grab the additional movement speed just because it happens to be that much better. So you need 2 levels in Squire, 3 levels in Archer, 4 level in Thief. You're also going to want stuff from the Monk tree. So you're going to have to go 3 into Knight and then grab Monk. And because of the fact that we are specifically also going to be going for the Samurai down there, you get 4 in Knight rather than 3. So that way you could just go down and grab it once it's ready. And then you get 5 in Monk, and you want to pick up all of the skills for Monk, all of the action abilities for martial arts, because they're all super helpful. Even when you're playing on a magic character, what you're going to want is Monk as your backup. And then you go down and take Samurai. So the different skills that we're using specifically is Thief. I'll go ahead and show you real quick. It's got movement +2. It's always helpful. You end up going into Monk, and you pick up all of these. These are really good because if you're farming on any monsters, they have counterattack. Counterattack does not get triggered by Pummel or Aura Blast, one of which is a close range attack up right in front of them. Aura Blast is from a distance. It doesn't do too terrible amounts of damage, so I use that against my own teammates as well. And then Revive, you can pick people up. Chakra, you can heal them. And then if you are playing as a mage character that's only dealing 20 damage to a monster that has 500 health, it can take a while. So just Doomfist it instead. And as a bonus interaction, if you're having trouble with your characters staying alive, getting one hit by monsters specifically, you can Doomfist them and the AI doesn't see them. If your own characters are Doomfisted, the AI acts like they're already dead and they don't perceive them as a threat. So you're just invisible. Pretty good tip there. It's really broken, because then you can get a whole 3 turns of use out of them while still point blank with an enemy and not needing to worry about it. So in addition to that, I believe Archer has one of the other abilities that's really helpful with this as well. It gives you Speed Surge as a reaction. So upon receiving damage, which you can proc off of hitting your own guys for XP, because the goal is to make it so that way the enemies are not a threat, so the only people dealing damage to you should be yourself. Whenever you get hit, you increase your speed. Eventually, if you're doing one of these really high tier classes at a particular time, Time Mage takes, over 10,000 job XP. So you're going to be in that level for quite a bit, and having a higher speed, making the enemy act less, is going to be really helpful. And then in addition to that, if you happen to be gaining levels while you're farming for your jobs and your skills, you're going to be gaining levels as him, and then you're going to out-level the enemy, and he's going to get less turns to keep gaining XP. So the more you're targeting the enemy, the less XP you're getting overall, and the less inefficiently your character is going to be leveled before you reach the halfway point in the game, when you can start leveling down your characters, which is an entirely different thing. That you become an arithmetician. They have the worst possible stat growths. You use a Mind Flayer with like the Beastmaster ability that gives it a special hidden ability to reduce your own levels. You take like 20 levels off while your character is an arithmetician, and then you switch to a class that has really good stat growths like Monk, and then give it way more strength and speed. If you want magic, you instead go for either Black Mage or Summoner, and that's basically it. Like you choose Monk or Black Mage / Summoner, and you increase the stats otherwise, because Arithmetician has like the second, it's like tied for worst stat growths with all classes, and it has an F in speed. So your speed will be going up by crazy amounts no matter what other class you're doing aside from that. Regardless, not only are we in the physical tree just to get down to Samurai, what you end up taking off of Samurai is the reaction skill eventually, Shira Hodori, which is when you receive a physical attack, the unit's parry rate is equal to its brave value. Up in the top left there, underneath my MP bar, you'll see my bravery says 97. That is the maximum permanent bravery you can have, but you can still cast a spell from Orator on them, which is one of the jobs I'll go through the list on how you get them as well. Orator has spells that allow you to reduce or increase bravery or faith on your characters and on enemy characters. So you can entirely negate whether or not an enemy is going to ever deal damage if you intimidate them enough to the point where they become a chicken. Because Intimidate takes 20 off of Bravery, and if you drop down below a certain margin, it becomes a chicken for a long time and only regens a little bit each turn. So every now and then you just Intimidate it, stays a chicken. Praise increases by 4 at a time, and 25% of that stays permanent, which is why you can't get above 97 Bravery. You'd have to have more space for points than that. But if you are at 97 Bravery and you have Praise, and you cast it on yourself successfully, and you bring yourself up to 100 bravery, and you have this Shira Hodori skill, you have a 100% chance to parry any physical attack dealt to you. And this also makes your character completely invisible, and basic enemies will not attack you unless they have magic. They can't hit you, so they don't even try. And yeah, that's how you end up breaking that. So I'll just show real quick how you get Orator. Orator is a level 2 in Chemist, a 3 in White Mage, a 3 in Mystic. You get Orator, and you just profit off of the fact that you basically have a 1% chance of being hit. If you use Orator's skill again, you have no chance of taking damage, and you just farm up to your heart's content. I prefer to still keep Martial Arts as my second ability rather than Speechcraft. I happen to be a monk right now because I'm planning on playing through the game just punching through everything as fast as possible. But this is a pretty good way to get everything done. There aren't really too many support abilities aside from JP boost that you're going to want to have while you're going through and leveling your characters. Why am I not? There we go, equipment. So yeah, most of the time you're going to have Martial Arts here. You're going to have preferably Shira Hodori here. If not Shira Hodori, Speed Surge can be helpful as well. This blue one, you're going to have the JP boost. All of the other ones aren't just going to be that helpful when you're specifically trying to power level. And then while you have the ability to get like accrue JP for moving, it's marginal, and it's way faster to just spam through your turns while holding down the fast forward button. So that is my recommendation. I'll go ahead and equip my character real quick for a particular job. So let's say I get through everything. I get down to the point where I'm like, okay, well, now I need to level up, say, Bard is like one of the last jobs that I have to do. I swap to Bard. I go ahead and I put on my farming abilities. Ring of Aptitude isn't going to do anything for me right now because the whole point is that if I'm farming, all of my characters have to have stuff. I only have 1 Ring of Aptitude. So we go ahead and take JP boost. We have Shira Hadori. We have Speechcraft on. We instead swap that out for Martial Arts because that is my revive, my heals, my distance attack, my counter to them countering because you can still be hit via that. And then movement 3 is perfectly fine. It just helps me move around quite a bit more. None of the rest of these really even matter when you're farming. So this is what you end up doing. You just go Martial Arts, Shira Hadori, JP boost, movement +3. And if you've already gotten an Orator and brought your bravery up to 97, you take way less damage and the chances of even hitting you are extremely small. And as long as you have 5 people sitting around each other with martial arts standing on the same level, you just revive them in the off chance they ever happen to get hit and insta-killed because, you know, with 183 health, level 99, any monster is basically going to one-hit down you. So that is my recommendation. If you guys ever try to farm in this game, that is definitely the safest and among the fastest ways of possibly doing it. So that is that explained, and now I'm just going to walk through the entire game sneezing on people and watch them fall over like tissue paper. Have a good one.
Interesting.